Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Green, and in this video about writing effective objectives, I'm talking about the ABET SLOs, and they also happen to be BAU's engineering PLOs or PILOs. You can refer to another video about what these abbreviations are referring to. Now, I'm going to focus on these engineering PILOs, but as if you are in another program, for example, computer science or accounting or anything else, you can still look at these and think about how they might be changed for your own programs. Now, ABET, the accreditation agency, has given these to anyone applying for accreditation. You must use these 7. You can add more, but you don't have to. My understanding is that BAU is not adding more, and I think that's smart. In general, you want between 4 and 8 PLOs total. So this 7 is a great place to be. Now, they all start with an ability to, and then there are the verbs that I have bolded. We can also think of it, students will be able to, in this case, identify, formulate, solve. Students will be able to apply. You want some strong verbs, and in another video, I'll be talking about those verbs. But we can see here an ability to identify, formulate, and solve complex, change your program name, to solve complex financial problems, to solve complex mathematical problems, or in this case, to solve complex engineering problems. So it tells us how, applying principles of engineering, science, and mathematics. So you may want to think about that if you are writing your own PLOs. We have our verb, we have a noun, and then we have the how. You might also have the condition or the time frame or something else. So let's look at the next one. An ability to apply, there's our verb. What are we applying? Engineering design. Why? To produce solutions that meet specified needs. How? With consideration of public health, safety, and welfare, as well as global cultural, social, environmental, and economic factors. Ooh, that's a mouthful. There's a lot there. It's really broad in that it's taking in lots of possibilities, public health, economic, different things, which means that in different courses, it will be pretty easy to meet that PLO because it's encompassing lots of potential skills, well, in this case, knowledge and understanding. So these two belong to the knowledge and understanding row of your PILOs. Then we have the ability to communicate. Communicate. That is our verb. Effectively, how and with whom, a range of audiences. Now, in this case, it doesn't say in what language. I've seen PILOs that mention English and Arabic. So if you are not using these exact PILOs, you could include other languages, but we can also think that effectively with a wide range of audiences mean whatever language the audience needs, you can communicate in. So that can be left open. You don't have to include the specific languages, but you might want to if that's a really important part of your program. you may want to include English. An ability to recognize what? Ethical and professional responsibilities. Where? In engineering situations, again, choose a different field, and make informed judgments which must consider the impact of engineering solutions in global economic, environment, and societal contexts. So thinking about, if you're talking about global engineering, economic, environment, different contexts may show up in different courses. So again, this is how you can match those PLOs. But here you're thinking about ethical and professional responsibilities. An ability to function that's our verb, effectively, how? On a team, okay, with like what people, whose members together provide leadership, create a collaborative environment, establish goals, plan tasks, and meet objectives. So in your courses, thinking about how are you going to set students up to meet that PILO. I know at BAU, most of your points in a class, 80%, go towards the knowledge and understanding level, so these two. But we need to find ways to also address these professional skills. So team projects, presentations, that sort of thing. Because again, this focus on team is really critical. An ability to, here's our verbs. This has two verbs, develop and conduct. Okay, so you not just developing experimentation, but you are also conducting that. And those two go together. You can have multiple verbs, like number 1 and number 6 and 7, in a single PILO, but they need to be connected. So an ability to develop and conduct appropriate experimentation. Oh, here's some more I did not highlight, my apologies. Analyze and interpret data and use engineering judgment to draw conclusions. So this is a multi-step PILO. You develop experiments, you conduct them, then once you've conducted them, you are analyzing the data, you're interpreting the data, and you're drawing conclusions. So there's lots of verbs happening here. Again, some of your courses may focus on developing experiments. Some courses may look at old experiments and just helping students analyze data. Some assignments or some courses may focus more on, so you see the data, you see the experiment, like you've analyzed it, like what are our conclusions based on that, right? So we don't have to do all of the verbs in a single course, but we want to make sure that by the end of the program, we've addressed all of those verbs. And finally, an ability to acquire and apply new knowledge as needed using appropriate learning strategies. And I believe at BAU, this is your competency PILO. And so thinking about, so what knowledge, and you could think about, well, any skill that you teach could also go to 7 using that knowledge, but you don't want to mark PILO number 7 on every single course objective. But when is it that they've really thought about these new learning strategies? When and how are they acquiring the knowledge as needed and applying it? So that one that I think is a little more vague and can sort of match everywhere, but we can think deeply about when it makes sense to really identify that PILO as the one that we're meeting with particular course objectives. In other videos, I'm going to talk about how do we decide on these verbs and how do we actually write them, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking through what these look like, and you can use them as models for other PILOs in other content areas. Thank you.